The time is finally here to crown a first ever Locked On A's game show champion.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I am your host, Booney, one name. Episodes will drop Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. That's Oakland, Vegas, and Sacramento time. Whether you are on your way to work, driving back from work, or listening casually during the day, thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen of the day. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a die-hard A's fan since 1981. And I'm here to bring you a real fan's take, covering everything from Oakland to Sacramento to Las Vegas. This is the place for A's fans to get the latest game breakdowns, team news, and more. This is where the passion of the fans take center stage. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please hit that subscribe button wherever you are following the show. As you can tell, I am pretty fired up because after weeks of anticipation, we are finally here for our first ever Locked On A's game show. In just a few minutes, we will meet our two contestants. First, let's go over the game rules so you at home can play along and see if you can beat the contestants we have on this evening's show. Okay, let me break everything down for you on what you see in front of you. To my lower left and my lower right is our contestant's name. Below that is their respectable score that will obviously change as the game goes on. Below me is the inning we are in play. To my left and your right is the categories for today's game, which we will go over in just a minute. Each contestant will receive 3 questions per category, with each correct answer being worth 1 point. Once each contestant receives their 3 questions, that will complete the inning. Just like baseball, this game is 9 innings long. Now, what is the number 3 just to your right of the players' names, you ask? I will tell you, each week there will be a different twist to the game that makes it a bit interesting. This week, the number 3 represents the number of challenges a player has remaining. What's that mean? Each player has 3 challenges to start the game. And if one player gets one of their 3 questions wrong, or simply out of time in answering the question, their opponent may challenge the question. If they get the question right, they receive the point. Here is the catch. If you get the challenge question wrong, you will forfeit your next 3 questions, which will then go to your opponent. So in other words, if you are going to be challenging, you better know the answer. If a player does not know an answer, but their opponent is out of challenges, they still may answer the question, but will not be rewarded with a point nor penalized if they get the answer wrong. Whoever is losing at the end of 8 innings will have an opportunity to tie the game and send it to sudden death extra innings. Depending on how many runs the individuals down will dictate the level of difficulty of the question. Let's go through the categories the contestants will be facing today. Long ball. Long ball has to do with home runs the Athletics were associated with. MVP. Athletics associated with the regular season Major League Baseball MVP award. Billy Ball. Billy Martin and his years as manager for the A's. All-Stars. Athletics that either played in the All-Star game or were associated in the All-Star game and its festivities at any time. Gold Gloves, Athletics, and the Major League Baseball Gold Glove Award. Free agents, not that the A's signed too many of them, but any free agents the A's signed, or free agents that have left the A's and signed with another team. 1989, the year the A's were World Series champions, and anything that had to do with that particular year, the team, the players, who they faced, etc. And finally, characters. Any characters that were part of the A's organization at any particular time in history. This could be a player, this could be a non-player. Without further ado, let's go meet our contestants. This episode is brought to you in part by Game Time. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets and more with Game Time picks. I am looking to go to the Golden State Warriors game tomorrow night when they face off against the Oklahoma City Thunder. What I love about the Game Time experience is the all-in pricing feature, where it shows you the total upfront of your ticket with no surprise fees at checkout. It's the only ticketing app that gives me complete peace of mind. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. AC, where are you from? How long you been an A's fan for?
What's going on, Booney? I've been an A's fan. Well, I'm from the South Bay, San Jose, born and raised. Been an A's fan. I was I was a kid in 1989, so that was kind of my first introduction. So I'd say, last 35 years. Haven't watched them as much the last couple of years with all the drama going on, but I've been to over 200 plus games. I've tracked them all, and it's a lot of memories, a lot of good memories watching the A's.
Do you have a favorite memory of all time that kind of flashes back, or a favorite game that you went to?
So this is really obscure, but in 2006, June 30th of 2006, there was a game, Toronto Blue Jays versus the A's at the Coliseum. It was Roy Halladay versus our guy Shane Komine making his MLB debut.
Okay.
And the Blue Jays got off to a lead. I think Houston Street blew the save. And then I think the Blue Jays are up by 3, facing BJ Ryan, their closer, going in the bottom of the 9th. And then Milton Bradley, of all characters, hit a walk-off home run to center field, and the place went crazy. I think it was like 30,000 people there. It was like peak, when Frank Thomas was on the team that year, like we were getting like 30,000 every weekend.
Sure.
That was the best. And that was one of the best regular season games I've ever attended. So that really stands out.
Are you going to continue to support the A's when they move to Sacramento, or is this a wrap for you?
No, I said my goodbyes this past season. So
makes sense. Yeah, sure.
I don't know what team I'm going to follow at this point, but I did watch the playoffs, just watch baseball for baseball at this point.
I got you. Kevin, we had you on the show before. Why don't you give everybody a reminder, where you from? How long you been an A's fan? Same as AC. Favorite memory you think back to?
Absolutely. I'm Kevin. I go by KP. I'm from Oakland, all over. I've been an A's fan for as long as I can remember. I think my first memory is listening to the radio, and it was in the discussion when uh, we were trading Mark McGuire.
Okay.
So
Right.
it's like the first actual memory I have. We're like, oh, okay, I understand. I was sad about that. So we were dismantling the team because I think Tony La Russa was leaving us.
Hmm.
That's like my first, like, oh, okay, wow, like I'm a person now since I'm the '88 baby. So the last, I gotta say, 35 years too. I had season tickets for a while as well, and so that was great. I've loved most of it. I always felt like pretty in tune with the A's. Like a lot of the players I liked or adored, even if they weren't awesome players in other places, we ended up acquiring. Ray Durham ended up being one of them. I love when we had
Sure.
Frank Thomas. That was a huge acquisition. He was one of my favorite players. My favorite memory, single memory, is I have a few. A couple of them were along the 20-game winning streak. I was a seventh grader for that, but Game 20 was one of the most epic games I've ever seen in my life, and I was there for that, so that was pretty cool. Going up against the Royals, um, or going down to the Royals, I think like 11-3, or that back and forth affair, and then that slow climb back up was pretty incredible. So being in the stands for that and feeling that energy really solidifies your fandom if you're already a fan.
Right. Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, guys, you guys have been versed on the rules. So have the audience. KP, we're going to lead it off with you with the first category, long ball. Long ball has to do with famous A's home runs, anything that has to do with A's, whether it's their opponent's home runs, their home runs, etc. You ready to roll?
Ready?
Here we go. In 2024, he had 3 home run games, one in July and one in August. Who was he?
Lawrence Butler.
That is correct. The second deck in Seattle's Kingdom has been reached only 10 times in 20 seasons. And this athletic did it twice in one inning with 1,000 feet of home runs in 1996. Who was he? KP?
Mark McGuire.
Correct. In 2012, he defected from Cuba in his first major league homer and hit his first major league homer in Tokyo. KP?
Yoenis Cespedes.
That is correct. AC. In the 2014 wild card game against the Kansas City Royals, he belted 2 home runs.
Brendan Moss.
That is correct. In 2016, this Oakland Athletic hit an impressive 42 home runs. What was more impressive was that in 2017, he backed it up by hitting 43 home runs.
2000. Try to think of their lineup that year.
KP, do you want to challenge?
I'll challenge.
Okay.
Chris Crush Davis.
Correct.
Duh. Mr. 247. How did I miss that?
AC. In game 1 of the 1988 World Series against the Dodgers, Jose Canseco hit a first inning grand slam. Who was the Dodger pitcher he hit it off?
Hershiser.
That's incorrect. KP, would you like to challenge?
No.
Tim Belcher. Tim Belcher.
Oh, because Hershiser picked game 7 against the Mets. Duh.
That is correct. Next category is MVPs. And with this category, anything that had to do with the Most Valuable Player Award and the Oakland Athletics. AC. And he won his lone MVP in 2002 for the A's.
Tejada.
Correct. He won MVP in 1988, the first player in MLB history to hit 40 home runs and 40 stolen bases.
Jose Canseco.
That is correct. His final season for the A's came in 2021, finishing 8th in MVP voting, bashing 39 home runs and driving in 111.
I'm going to say Olsen.
That is correct. Matt Olson. KP. In 1992, Dennis Eckersley won both the AL Cy Young Award and the American League MVP, only the second player in A's history to do that. In 1971, this player was the first.
Catfish Hunter.
Incorrect. AC.
Pass.
Vita Blue. Vita Blue. Jason Giambi finished second in the 2001 MVP voting after hitting 38 home runs with an OPS of 1.137. Who finished first?
Ichiro Suzuki.
That is correct. In 2000, Jason Giambi won the MVP. The player that came in second played with the A's in 2006, finishing fourth in MVP voting that year. Who was the player?
Eric Chavez.
No, we just talked about it. Oh, AC, you got a chance to challenge.
Yeah, I'll challenge that. Frank Thomas.
You got it.
Oh,
Keep that one away. So AC, you're going twice in a row. And the next two, we're going with Billy Ball. Anything that had to do with the A's in the Billy Martin years.
Oh, it's going to be tough.
yeah, that's tough.
It's a little before my time.
You and me both.
Before managing the A's, who did Billy Martin manage?
The Yankees.
That is correct. Arguably the best player in Billy Ball era. He hit 35 home runs in 1980. And in 1981, he finished fourth in MVP and was an all-star. KP, you want to challenge?
Pass.
Yeah.
Tony Armas. Tony
Yeah,
Armas.
wouldn't have got that.
In 1981, the A's got swept in the ALCS to the New York Yankees. What was unique about the playoff format that year?
You said 1981?
Yeah, what was unique about the playoff format that year?
Yeah, there was a midseason strike, and it was a split season, like first half, second half type thing. So I think the A's won one of the halves.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It was actually interesting. Reds finished half game behind the Dodgers in the first half. They finished 1.5 games behind the Astros in the second half. They had the best overall record in baseball, and they did not play one single playoff game. Cardinals finished 1.5 games behind the Phillies in the first half, and in the second half finished a half game behind the Expos and had the third best record in baseball and did not make the playoffs. So very controversial, but that is correct.
That's
All
wrong.
right, KP. How many seasons did Billy Martin manage in Oakland?
7.
That's incorrect. AC.
I'll pass.
3 seasons. In 1981, the A's lost to the Yankees in the ALCS. Who did they beat in the divisional series to face off against the Yankees?
Baltimore Orioles.
Incorrect. AC.
Pass.
Kansas City Royals. They swept the Royals in a best out of 5. In 1981, he was the ace of Billy Martin's pitching staff, finishing second in Cy Young voting to former Athletic Raleigh Fingers. Who was he?
His name is on the tip of my tongue. I think he's from here. I can't remember his name.
AC?
I'll pass.
Steve McCatty.
Oh, yeah.
AC's up 7-5 going into the top of the fourth. All right, here we go. We're going to go with All-Stars. Pretty self-explanatory. Any Oakland athletic that was an All-Star or had to do with festivities surrounding the All-Star game. We are going to start with AC. All-Star who received the win for the American League in 2024.
Mason Miller.
Correct. In 1971, this athletic hit one of the most memorable homers in All-Star game history at Tiger Stadium in Detroit.
Dave Kingman.
Incorrect. KP, you want a challenge?
Reggie Jackson.
That is correct. In 1990, Mark McGwire finished second in the home run derby at Wrigley Field. Who was the Chicago Cubs legend who finished first?
Is that Andre Dawson?
Incorrect. KP?
It's 1990.
Yep. Careful on your challenge. You get it incorrect, you...
I want to save it.
Ryan Sandberg. Ryan Sandberg. All right. To you, KP. He won back-to-back All-Star home run derbies in 2013 and 2014.
Yoenis Cespedes.
That's correct. In 1987, the Oakland Coliseum hosted the All-Star game. The National League won 2-0 in 13 innings. Mark McGwire was one of two A's who were All-Star selection. Who was the other All-Star?
Ricky Henderson.
Incorrect. AC?
Pass.
Jay Howe. Jay Howe, former closer for the A's, actually a two-time All-Star, and received the loss in that game as well. In 1988, this athletic won the MVP for the American League.
Ricky Henderson.
Incorrect. AC?
Challenge.
Go ahead.
Terry Steinbach.
You got it. You got it. Absolutely right. Gold gloves. Self-explanatory here.
Mm-hmm.
Players who showed off the leather. And we are leading off with, I believe, KP, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Arguably the best third baseman in A's history, capturing 6 straight gold gloves.
Eric Chavez.
That is correct. Oakland A's left fielder that won 3 consecutive gold gloves beginning in 1974.
74 team. Not sure.
AC?
Pass.
Joe Rudy. Joe
Sorry.
Rudy.
Yo.
Legendary A. He won 6 consecutive gold gloves beginning in 1980 and ending in 1985. Who was he? AC?
Pass.
Pass. Yeah, I don't know.
Dwayne Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Center field.
In 2021, he was the only gold glove at the catcher's position in franchise history.
Sean Murphy.
Got it. Good one. Who's the only Oakland Athletic player to win a Platinum Glove Award?
Matt Chapman.
That is correct. Platinum Glove is basically your Major League Baseball Defensive Player of the Year. A lot of people get that mixed up. They think it's the best defensive player for a certain position from both leagues, when in actuality, it is the best defensive player, period, in all of baseball.
Mhm.
He's the only pitcher to win the Gold Glove in A's history, and he did it in back-to-back years in 80 and 81.
Is that Chris Cotteroli?
Incorrect. KP?
Pass.
Mike Norris.
Oh.
Mike
Mhm.
Norris. Today's episode is brought to you in part by FanDuel. When I personally look at a sports book, there are two things that are most important to me. Is it easy to deposit? And more importantly, is it easy to withdraw? FanDuel checks both boxes for me. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers can bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. We are going with free agents.
Ooh.
Free agent signings by the A's or individual that may
Wait,
have
we have
left
free
the A's.
agent signings? No,
I
I'm
know,
just
right?
Hey, let's put it this way. I'm not going to be doing this category again. I ran out. All right, here we go. This free agent signed with the A's in 1989 from the Mariners. He was the #1 overall pick in the 81 draft and a key part of the World Series champion Athletics, pitching in 2 of the 4 World Series games.
Mike Moore.
That is correct. I didn't realize he was the #1 overall pick.
I didn't either.
Yeah. This free agent signed with the A's in 2011. He set a franchise record for most consecutive saves with 41.
Oh, not just thinking out loud. Not Andrew Bailey was drafted, so it wasn't him.
KP, you have one challenge left. You want to use it?
Some of these in 2011. I'm going to hold on to it.
Grant Balfour.
Oh,
Grant Balfour. Who signed that largest free agent deal for an A's starting pitcher?
Scott Kazmir.
That's correct. Okay, KP. Free agent who signed a 1-year deal with the A's in 2024 and was a former All-Star with the Dodgers.
A 1-year deal with the A's in 24. That was too old.
I'll pass.
Alex Wood.
Oh,
Yeah,
Alex
he's
Wood.
injured a lot. Right?
Giants was in my head too much. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Wood. Arguably the greatest hitting catcher of all time, signed a 1-year deal with the A's in 2007, which would be his final year in baseball.
Mike Piazza.
That's correct. In 2015, this A's signed a in 2015, this A's signed a free agent deal for 3 years, $30 million, the largest free agent signing in the history of the franchise. Who was he?
Billy Butler.
That is correct. That is
Excuse my eye roll when I saw that question.
100%. 100%.
1989. Anything that had to do with the A's in 1989?
Let's do it.
Who did the A's defeat in the 89 ALCS to get to the World Series?
Toronto Blue Jays.
That is correct. When the A's played the Giants in the 89 World Series, the series was given a name. What was the name it was given?
Battle of the Bay.
Incorrect.
Ooh.
AC?
Yeah, sure. The Bay Bridge series.
That is correct. That is correct. Battle of the Bay, they refer to that during the regular season games. The Bay Bridge series was specific to that specific series in 89. This member of the 89 Oakland A's was part of another famous World Series champion that went with a trademark saying, we are family. Who was that player?
We Are Family. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Correct. Who was the player?
1989.
AC?
Dave Parker.
That is correct.
Parker.
The 1989 starting pitching rotation was Dave Stewart, Mike Moore, Bob Welsh, and Storm Davis. Who was the fifth member of the rotation? He also served as A's pitching coach for a total of 13 seasons.
Kurt Young.
That is correct. In 1989, he finished third in all of baseball with a batting average of .336.
I'm going to say Carney Lansford.
That is correct.
Oh, good. Yes.
In 1989, who won the ALCS MVP?
Ricky Henderson.
That is correct. Characters. We're going to go with UAC. This World Series MVP was known for his signature stare down and intimidating presence on the mound.
Dave Stewart.
That is correct. Dave Stewart. This Cy Young Award winner is one of the most interesting characters in A's history. He had an interest in yoga, Zen practice, and stuffed animals. Who was he?
Barry Zito.
That is correct. Former A's announcer who was well known for his signature Holy Toledo call.
Bill King.
That is correct. KP. Dave Henderson is one of the great characters in the history of the A's franchise. What was his nickname?
Can do.
That is correct. The Oakland A's fan known for inventing the wave. He went by the nickname Crazy. What was his first name?
Bill?
That is incorrect. And I believe you are out of challenges.
Crazy
George.
Though.
That is correct. That is correct. In 1992, movie A League of Their Own, Tom Hanks portrayed a character by the name of Jimmy Dugan. The character was loosely inspired by this Oakland Athletic.
There's no crying in baseball. I don't know.
Jimmy Fox. Jimmy Fox. Okay, so going into the last inning, the ninth, you got your work cut out for you. We're going to ask you a 6-part question. In 2014, the Oakland Athletics had 6 All-Stars. This was the team that lost to the Kansas City Royals in a 1-game playoff. In order to tie this game up and go into extra innings, who were the 6? Or AC will be your first ever champ.
Derek Norris.
That is correct.
Jeff Samardzija.
Incorrect.
Oh. Can I continue?
Cool. Of course.
Yoenis Cespedes.
That's correct.
Brendan Moss.
That is correct.
And did you say Derek Norris?
Yeah.
He did.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think that's a closer in there.
Scott Kazmir, Brandon Moss, has left out Josh Donaldson.
Oh,
and Sean Doolittle. Sean
yeah.
Doolittle. Gentlemen, AC, you're the champ. You have the option to come back next week, defend the title.
Oh, cool.
And
Let's do it.
KP, as always, thank you. Hey, gentlemen. Hey, thanks a lot, fellas. Great job. Hope you enjoyed it. And thanks again. Like I said, thanks for
fun.
dealing with me on a little bit
Absolutely.
of the stuff, man.
Thanks,
Really
Kevin. Nice
appreciate
meeting
it.
you
Thanks
too.
for having me, AC.
Hey, guys.
Congrats.
I'll see you guys.
See
I'll be in
y'all.
touch.
Thanks,
Take
Moody.
care, fellas. Talk about a back and forth affair. What a game. KP jumps out right away to a quick 3-0 lead and 4-1 lead. I think he's going to run away with it. Then slowly but surely, AC grinds away, one question at a time, takes his time, uses his challenges appropriately, and slowly takes the lead. But going into the last two categories, AC's up 13-11 and ends the game with a 7-1 run to finish as our first ever champion. The match was much closer than the score indicated. My question to you is, who is going to challenge AC next week for his title? If you are interested in being a contestant, email us at lockedonathletics@gmail.com or message us at Twitter or X at lockedona's. We'll have a whole new set of categories, a whole new set of questions, and of course, there will be a new twist to the game. This week was the challenges. What will it be next week? I don't know. I simply don't know. Sign up, find out. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And tune in again next week. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen today. For your second listen, find Locked On MLB. Baseball guru Sully brings a daily blend of humor and baseball, keeping you updated on every rumor and story throughout the offseason. Find Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. I will see you tomorrow.